We are Joe.
Mike.
I am Cody. We missed the beginning because it wasn't recording yet, but comes naturally. What up, y'all?
What happens when I try to take the reins? Shit just gets fucked.
Yeah. I sent you guys a tweet. Did you see it?
Yes, it's the poster for the Suicide Squad.
And Mike, do you see what the words
like
say?
a Tarantino movie.
Mike, do you see what the tweet says, though?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that or not because you weren't in the room when Joe and I were talking about it.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw the he posted the picture of the red band thing too earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Like just that red band warning. He's like, trailer tomorrow.
Yay.
He's like, ooh, one of them rated R type trailers.
All right.
I did see if you guys go on HBO Max and you well before the Snyder cut jumped on there, but there was like in theaters and HBO Max the same day. Click here to see what's coming, and it was like a little sizzle reel. It's a stupid saying, sizzle reel. And you watch it, and there's some cool scenes from. I hadn't seen it online. Usually, I see these. I thought it was the same one I saw like a month ago or something. It's not. It was a newer one, and it had some new stuff from the Suicide Squad, and like a quick little scene of John Cena and Idris Elba talking, and it was pretty funny. And then King Kong fucking busting Godzilla in his stupid lizard face. It was awesome.
His stupid lizard face.
Fuck that guy. Stupid lizard.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Bold statement, sir.
It is a
I
bold
know. I feel
statement,
like
Cotton.
I died, you know. So I'm going hard on fucking Team Monkey.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Also, speaking of Team Monkey, I watched on Disney Plus. There's a bunch of like animal documentaries and stuff. And so I found one about gorillas. It was like 2 episodes, and the title of the episode that I was about to watch said King Kong's Lair, and I was like, I'm in.
Right?
They fucking has nothing to do with King Kong, obviously. But I thought there was gonna be like a giant gorilla, like the biggest gorilla or something. I didn't read anything in the description, but I saw King Kong's Lair, and I was like, "This better be a 700-pound gorilla." There wasn't, but there was another gorilla, and he's all walking around. And then they showed like a lot of like gorilla and chimpanzee sex. I was like, "This is weird for Disney Plus." And then it freaked me out because the gorillas. They're just having sex like people, like a missionary position off in the corner, away from everybody. And I was like, this looks odd. I don't like it, man. Nature shows are weird. And that's a kid's show. I don't think they should do that. And then...
Why is that gorilla going in soft? He must love her.
Must love that other gorilla. And then these fucking chimps, like they floated around to a couple different, like, I don't know, tribes or groups or whatever the fucking they call them, and there's this group of chimps, and they just ate a monkey. Like they're like, fuck this monkey. This little monkey fell from a tree, and they're like, boom, we're gonna eat this monkey, and they just ate that monkey. I was like, you guys are too close to monkeys to be eating monkeys. That's like eating your little cousin or something. That's weird. Don't do that. And they didn't listen to me. They ate it anyway. This show is fucking wild. You should watch it. I'll send you a link.
Fair enough.
I sent another text.
I see that, so it's available now.
Yeah,
I was wondering if it wouldn't be available a day early.
Yeah, it apparently dropped at 7:20.
We're talking about the Invincible show on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. The first 3 episodes are available. I just looked at it.
Runtime of the episodes?
I would love to tell you, but for some reason an ad started playing. I don't care.
Rat bastard ads.
Yes.
I'm going to guess 45 minutes.
Oh my god, I'll be so happy.
Right?
I don't think there's any way. I think
Oh my god. Episode 1, 48 minutes. Episode 2, 44 minutes. Episode 3, 42 minutes.
Fuck out of
What?
here. Give the people what they want, Amazon. This
Right?
makes up for the way you treat your employees all shitty and stuff.
Wow. That's a bold statement, bud. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, those are longer episodes than I expected.
Where do you think the first episode ends at? Where the spoiler alert, the dad beats the fuck out of him, or is that's
No, that's going to be the end of the. That's going to either be halfway through the season or the end of the season.
They can't stretch that. How many episodes? Maybe they can. I don't know.
I don't see it on here. It just shows 3 and then the bonus, which is a trailer on the website.
I'm trying to remember because it's been a long time since I read the beginning of it, but that was like the first trade, right? Was ended on the dad heel turn, right?
Yeah. Do I have my compendium or someone else have it? Oh, someone else has it, I think, because it's not in its spot. I don't know who has it.
Yeah, there's no fucking way it's just not in the right spot, right?
No, I mean, not really, because I haven't read it in a while, but usually I put those things back because they actually have a place. Jerk.
I'm trying to think myself. I know I have the first. I think it's the 6 issues.
Yeah.
And I don't think it ends on the dad's heel turn. I want to say it ends with the alien invasion or something like that.
Oh, that's right. You know that now that I'm thinking about it, it is a lot later on than I'm.
Yeah, that's a lot later on. Even though I know that's actually the only bit of info that I've read. I still haven't read more of it.
Oh man, it gets so good. His girlfriend gets all fat, but they don't change it. You remember that, Cody?
His girlfriend gets
I'm sure he remembers it. It's just it gets so good. His girlfriend gets so fat. What?
No, but it's good for like
body positivity.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
Yeah. So his girlfriend Adam Eve, if you want to go by her superhero name, gives birth and she doesn't lose the baby weight. Spoiler alert, I guess. Later she does.
Way later though.
Yeah, no, she stays thick for a while. But also that happens way back. I mean, we're not going to see thick Eve for a while, I think, because that shit's goes for a while.
Do we know how far the first season gets into the series?
I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can find even a list of the
episodes.
Episodes, yeah.
Because I know that, like I said, the more I think about it, the first trade is mostly about him learning his powers. He meets up with the group of other superheroes. They have the mission about the dude that's like killing people with bombs or something like that. I vaguely remember it.
Yeah.
And they solve that. And that was like the first trade. You get a hint of what's going on later, something about space. But that was it. That was the first trade.
Yeah, there's no listing on Wikipedia right now. I'm trying to see if there's any information. There's no listing other than those 3 episodes out. The episodes' names are It's About Time, because that's when he gets his powers. Episode 2 is Here Goes Nothing. Episode 3 is Who You Calling Ugly?
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's anything in here about it, but I don't see nothing in there. Keep talking. I'm looking stuff up.
Fair enough.
Nope.
How come they haven't released an awesome collection of all the books
of Invincible?
Well, they have the hardcover trades.
Box set.
Oh.
I don't know.
Stupid. This show better fucking take off so I can buy some shit that I don't really need.
It is the first season's 8 episodes. 8 episodes, according to IMDb.
Dang. The voice cast is kind of ridiculous too. Huh?
The voice cast is absolutely bonkers.
And it might be like outside of like a big budget like movie, like blockbuster movie. It might be like the most stacked voice cast in ever.
Do we have a list of who's in it?
Oh yeah.
Bro, let me bring it up. I got the IMDb's and stuff.
Oh, that's right in front of me.
That sounds like something you need a shot for.
Sandra Oh plays Debbie Grayson, who is Mark's mom, if you don't know that, Joe.
Nope, didn't know that.
J.K. Simmons plays Nolan Grayson / Omni-Man.
That was different.
Stephen Yun plays Mark Grayson. Zazie...
Remember when the guy with the bat beat the shit out of his face?
Yeah, it was a different world, dude. That's like that's.
Fucked
technically
up.
speaking, they're
His
both
eyes
Robert
all
Kirkman
popping out.
projects. Oh, by the way, if you don't know, there's a lot of Walking Dead stars in this show, but most of them are, oddly enough, not gonna last right after they show up. So, you have Zazie Beetz plays Amber Bennett, Walter Goggins plays Cecil Stedman. Jillian Jacobs plays Eve / Adam Eve / Samantha Eve Wilkins, because that's her actual name. Jason Mantzoukas plays Rex Splode, or also known as Rex Sloan. Gray Griffin plays Monster Girl / Amanda / Shrinking Ray, because she does 2 different voices. Kevin Michael Richardson plays Mauler 1 and Mauler 2, known as the Mauler twins, and does the voice of Monster Girl when she's transformed.
Yeah.
Zachary Quinto plays Robot. Great fucking casting on that one for sure.
It's gonna be so good.
Andrew Rannells plays William Clockwell. Wow, that's a name I don't even think I can pronounce. Chris Diamandopoulos? I don't know. It plays Donald Ferguson, Doc Seismic. Mark Hamill plays Art Rubinson. Or Rosenbaum, sorry, Art Rosenbaum. Someone named Melise plays Duplicate. Seth Rogen plays Alan the Alien. Carrie Payton plays Black Samson. Spot on, since he's actually that color. Max Burkholder plays Oliver Grayson / Matt. Oh, he does 2 voices as well. That's pretty good. Michael Dorn of... Star Trek Next Generation fame.
Yeah, bitch.
Plays Battle Beast.
Fucked up forehead.
Yeah, man. Nicole Byer plays Vanessa and Fiona. Mae Whitman plays Connie. Let's see. Clancy Brown plays Damien Darkblood. Jeffrey Donovan plays Machine Head. Fred...
That's the Burn Notice guy, right?
Yeah, Jeffrey Donovan. Fred, wow, there's the last name. Tetsascori plays Kill Cannon. Jonathan Groff plays Rick Sheraton / Rick. Marshala Ali plays Titan. John Hamm plays Steve. Ross McQuard plays Aquarius, Biplane, and Kursic. Ezra Miller plays D.A. Sinclair, also known as Duh Sinclair.
What's his special power? Is he really fast?
Wouldn't that be funny?
Right.
Damon Housen plays Martian Emperor. They like making that dude aliens for some reason. Chad L. Coleman. Oh, this is where it gets really funny, Mike. So pay attention to the characters. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Chad L. Coleman plays Martian Man. Michael Cutlitz plays Red Rush. Lenny James plays Darkwing. Where's the other ones at? Sonequa Martin Green plays Green Ghost. I think. Oh, and Lauren Cohan plays War Woman. Any idea why those are funny?
Did you get? I can't remember where it's at, but that's the knockoff Justice League.
Yes.
It's gonna be awesome.
And other than Laurie Cohan and technically Lenny James, all of those characters all those actors played characters in Walking Dead that were killed. And guess what?
They're the Walking Dead now.
Yeah, they gonna be dead in this too.
Officer Winslow's in it too.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah, he plays a principal and a scientist.
And then Justin Roiland, who Joe might know, plays frat bro douche and punk kid. Do you know who Justin Roiland is, Joe?
Yeah, he's from Rick and Morty and
Solar Opposites.
Yeah, that's the other show, Solar Opposites.
And I believe he is on Lower Decks too, right?
Not that I can recall. There is somebody from Rick and Morty on the creative team somewhere in there, like a producer or something like that.
I thought he did a voice, not a main voice, but I think he did a one-off episode on that one. Man, I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember. I saw that trailer for Solar Opposites is coming back. I just didn't check out when it is coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the commercial. Well, we were watching Hulu at the time, so obviously that's why. I don't remember what April, I think it said.
Okay, so next month.
Boom, boom, boom. So before we get into what we're actually going to talk about in this episode, did y'all watch Falcon Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Mike, you're up on something?
I'm all the way up.
Oh
Yes,
my
sir.
God. All right, what do we think?
Go for it, Mike.
Bro, it was so fucking good, and not even like the hero actiony stuff. Like just the normal life side shit. I'm like, I'd be perfectly fine if the whole fucking series is just them exploring that. It's so well done and well performed and well casted. I was like, there's nothing bad about at least that first episode. I just remember watching it. I was just like, this is like, one, it's movie level graphics, which, you know, we were kind of expecting after seeing WandaVision. But even WandaVision was meant to look, you know, hokey at certain points.
Yeah.
And there was only really 1-2 episodes where they really fucking get into it. You know what I mean? This one, right off the get-go, because that dope-ass scene where you see Falcon, you know, in, like, the canyon, dodging fucking missiles and shit, that's right away, which is insane that they're like, this is how we're starting this bitch off, which is awesome. But yeah, just the stuff that they're exploring, like Winter Soldier. Obviously, you know, we find out that that old guy, you know, spoiler alert, he killed his buddy's kid, which is a bummer. Nobody recognizes him, which I was trying to think. Like he went maskless at a certain point, didn't he? Like,
yeah, but he was always. That was always away from the limelight, though. Whenever he was in public,
yeah, I guess
he had
that
the
would
mask.
be like the in game, and
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But I was not like, because people are you know, recognizing Anthony Mackie and or Falcon, and I was like, oh yeah, I can't remember about Winter Soldier, but nobody knows who he is, and he's obviously feeling real shitty about it, and he's got like a list of people that he fucked over, which is a big old bummer. It's funny because it's very like his grieving process and his healing process is like essentially the AA 12-step program. And I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. Like, how are you gonna flip that into I was a mind controlled slave that killed people for for 100 years, you
Mhm.
know? So that's fun. Um, and also, uh, big issue right away is how like there's not a hero fund for these fucking guys. like the fact that Falcon needs money is just a very unfortunately, it might be the most realistic thing in any of these movies. I'm like, oh no, that's such a fucking bummer. And I was like, come on, Tony should have had a fucking big old pot of money for all these people, but whatever. Hopefully that gets dealt with at some point. But yeah, I love the show so much. Like I said, everything about it. And I wasn't even like they didn't even meet up.
Yeah.
Like they haven't even like gotten together yet. I'm like, this is fucking dope, dude. Like one episode in, they haven't even met up, and I'm all in. I'm completely invested already. So I'm actually a little pissed. I watched it right away because now I'm this whole I haven't been stuck in this week to week issue in a very long time. And so I had to readjust a little bit, but I'll be fine. I'll make it, guys. Don't worry. What do you think, Joe?
It's good to hear.
I'm not as enthused as you were about the first episode. Don't get me wrong. The best parts of the episode were the character parts with Anthony Mackie and I actually can't remember the actor's name for Winter Soldier, so we'll just call him Bucky. Those were great. Absolutely great. Especially Bucky's side of things, where it was so depressing, so sad at times, and even the little glimmers of happiness that he starts to have, even those just like, oh fuck, I really do need to go tell that dude in order to get over these nightmares that I killed his son. Here's my only friend in this whole entire world right now, even though I really don't necessarily consider him a friend. I'm only really a friend with him because I killed his kid. And I can't bring myself to go through that step of the AA, to try and help myself with those nightmares. So absolutely depressing and horrible there. The only thing that bothered me are the bad guys in this. There's obviously, we don't know what's going on yet, but I still question, and I'm starting to question this a bit more with superhero movies. First off, where you started the show. Correct me if I'm wrong. Why were there French terrorists on an American plane? What were they trying to do? They were trying to capture that captain?
Yes.
But obviously we don't know why.
We don't know why.
How did French terrorists end up on a military transport plane?
Well, if you remember Winter Soldier, the movie, and George St. Pierre is seemingly a normal human being that hung tough with Captain America for a little bit before he ended up getting his ass whooped. But he lived, which is more than I could say for anybody else Captain America came into contact with on that fucking ship. Yeah, right? So
I'm not following so far, but I'm there.
Go ahead and say that evil George St. Pierre is just a bad motherfucker and he can do whatever he wants. And we're gonna see him again later on, and it's gonna be awesome. They're gonna spike him up with some fucking shitty diluted hero super soldier serum, and he's gonna be like, I'm not impressed by your performance, and then he's gonna fucking sidekick motherfuckers in the face all day, and it's gonna be awesome. I almost think I'm rooting for him, which is gonna be really hard towards the end.
Yeah.
Okay. If that's where it ends up, I'm perfectly. I think I'm fine with it.
We'll figure that stuff out.
Shitty French accent and all.
Don't sweat details, bro.
All I'm saying is I'm starting to get tired of. I get it. There's super soldiers and this and that. You portray like the military as just a completely inept and incompetent force, essentially. Like I didn't even understand like how. Okay, so the plane gets taken over by French terrorists, and some reason you have a ground team trying to follow the plane through Afghanistan. Like what? There's just things that don't make sense to me. And then apparently this French terrorist squad had like 6 military helicopters operating in this area. at the same time. Oh, and by the way, they're trying to kidnap this captain, this American military captain, to take him over the border because the United States stops at the border. They're just gonna stop at the border. It doesn't matter if you kidnapped an American military soldier. You're just gonna, I guess they crossed the border, guys. We can't go after them. It just didn't make any fucking sense.
Libya was gonna blow them all up and get mad and charge them for like war crimes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's
so. And then a little later too, you obviously do that stupid app. Oh, look at my Pokemon Go for Terrorists app. He's just like sitting there swirling the little Pokemon thing, and he's like catching terrorist signs in the fucking app.
He wasn't catching terrorist signs. He was spinning terrorist signs to get the loot.
To get the loot from the terrorists.
So he could battle other terrorists and level up, Joe. Jesus Christ. Did you not
I'm sorry. I misinterpreted how the little app goes. But for what was that kid? He wasn't. He was CIA, FBI. I don't know. He was an alphabet soup kid. But for some reason, he takes it upon himself to meet up at one of these terrorist go locations and try and take them out himself without alerting anybody that he's going to be there, without bringing a team. Like, hey guys, I know exactly where they're going to hit next. I have it on my Terrorist Go app here. We just need to walk around that area and find these guys. And he tries to do it himself. Shit like that, I'm starting to get annoyed with, and it takes me out of these types of shows. Everything else with this show was absolutely great. Everything else. I want more of everything else like that. But it's the bad guy so far that I don't care about. You don't explain enough. I hope you do better in the next episodes. So there's my complaint. Cody, how much did you love it?
I loved it a lot.
Yeah.
But I know what's happening, so I'm not lost or confused about anything.
I'm not lost or confused or anything. I'm just pointing at things that don't make sense.
You say don't make sense, but it's only the first episode.
It still doesn't make sense.
Hey, does a puzzle make sense when you only put together 8 pieces? If it's a 500 count puzzle?
I mean, it does if you look at the box. Because the box is a picture of what the puzzle looks like.
Let's say you didn't have the box. Guys, you're getting off the point here. All I'm saying is it's incomplete.
And they can explain, like I'm saying, they could totally explain the bad guys later on. But it's just stupid little things like the kid going after the terrorists on his own. I'm tired of seeing that type of stuff in shows. That wouldn't fly in real life. Especially if you're dealing with terrorists and superpowered soldiers and stuff like that. Oh, I'm just going to go off on my own. I'm a lone wolf. Blah. That's dumb. And he ends up almost getting killed by a dude. That's what I'm saying. Dumb.
But
so if they suddenly explain sometime later in the show that, hey man, our director ended up being corrupt. Well, there we go again. Another stupid thing.
I'm going to warn you right now.
I'm sick and tired of listening about in these types of shows and movies. How many directors have to be corrupt of an organization? Whatever.
That might be the most realistic part of all the Marvel movies is the fact that leadership's awful.
There's a difference between leadership being awful and leadership being corrupt.
Nah. Not my book, sir.
Not in your book. All directors are just you got hired into the director position, and you suddenly like, hey man, you get to see everything now. Hail Hydra.
yeah.
You're all shit. I'm a Nazi now. Fuck.
Here's your new insurance card, and also take this Hydra pin because you're gonna need it.
Oh, God damn it! Not again. That's what I'm saying. And you can't say that you can explain all that stuff later in the series because that's just, it doesn't make sense to me right then and there. Maybe they'll explain later on why these guys had a huge army force inside of the an active war zone of the United States.
I blame Hydra.
Maybe. And we can say stealth stuff or this or that, and we can just explain things away. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense now, and I'm annoyed with it. I'm tired of shows doing this. Everything else in the show, really fucking good.
Let me gauge your level of annoyance. Like, if said issues go unanswered and there continues to be things like that, but everything else is great, are you liking the show, or are you out on it?
I'm still liking the show because the other stuff is very strong.
Okay.
The character development so far is very strong. And that's what I'm there for. It's Falcon and Winter Soldier, you know.
Yeah, I just wanted to make it clear for our listeners, because sometimes when it's there's only so much you could say about liking stuff, you know what I mean? But when you point out what you dislike, it obviously takes a lot longer. So I was just curious as to if you actually like the show or you hate the show, or if you like the show and you're just annoyed with a snippet of it.
So far, I'm just annoyed with the snippet of it, and I'm hoping that going forward, because I had the same problem with WandaVision, and I stuck through WandaVision. You know, granted, some of the stuff happened towards the end there, but overall, so far, I like it enough to keep watching it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, Mike, what did you recently watch that we kind of sort of talked about last week without you, but with you?
Justice League, the Snyder Cut.
So?
Bro. All right. So, you guys said it, but I don't think, I think you undersold it a little bit on how much within the first 10 minutes this is a completely different movie.
We don't want to spoil it for you.
This is a new scene. No, not. This is a darker tone of a movie. No. It's none of that. It is a completely different film, which is so weird. And yeah, it was just so fucking good. And yes, it was darker. It was more violent. They played around with the ratings since it was straight to a streaming thing. And Snyder was like, fuck it, let's have Wonder Woman bash brains off a wall in front of a bunch of little kids. And whatever. I'm cool with it. Those kids all need therapy now. But it's a weird world that they live in. So I'm sure, there's something for them. But there's really nothing. It was crazy. Was it 4 hours, 2 minutes, right?
Yep.
Was it runtime? Something like that. I wasn't, at any point, I wasn't like, ugh, let's fucking go. You know what I mean? I have never sat through anything this long in my life and not felt like this should have been a lot shorter. Even WrestleMania. Like, fucking 8 hours of WrestleMania is too much. 4 hours of WrestleMania, most years, a little bit too much. Could have trimmed a couple of those matches out, and it would have been great. This, I honestly don't. This now I'm confused because this could not have been his vision for his original movie, because there's no way a 2.5 hour version of this gives you everything that this gives you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like he had in his head, in a perfect world, if he was Kevin Costner and he planned on making a 4 hour movie, he had this movie in his head. Then he was like, but I'm never going to be able to do that because Kevin Costner doesn't get work anymore. So I'm going to make a 2.5 hour version. So this is what I'm going to make for my movie. And then, tragedy strikes and he has to step away. And then there's another version that's completely different. And I'm willing to bet that all three of those versions are vastly different from each other, because there's just no way that any of it adds up in any cohesive way at different time frames. Yeah, but it was fucking dope, dude. The action sequences were insane. We got that dope dark side scene, which was amazing. And then also just kind of not bummed, but I can't think of another word, but just a little bit like, really would have liked to seen all of them fucking go up against Darkseid. That would have been the only other thing to really like close the book on it, you know? Yeah, but everything, the stories were better. You got a better vibe for the characters. You're completely right. There's still comedy in it, but it fits as opposed to the last one where the comedy felt like, we got to lighten this shit up a little bit, and it felt like notes. You know what I mean? Hey, make this funnier. You know, lots of bad things going on. Make a Pet Cemetery. The Pet Cemetery joke made me laugh because it's Pet Cemetery and it made sense, but also didn't really belong there. You know what I mean? So yeah, I literally have nothing really bad to say about this movie. I thought it was amazing, and I kind of just want movies to be this now. Like, don't like. Look, dude, movie theaters are going away. You know what I mean? And they're not going away, but it's not the only means anymore. And the pandemic kind of expedited that process a lot. So like, let's say fuck it and just make some 4-hour fucking movies if they're badass, and then put them out and, you know, put intermission spots in them. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you got to do. But this is how we should be doing shit from here on out. And it's just a bummer because the more I read about it, the more it seems like this, you know, pretty much just shut the book on Snyder's Justice League stuff, and he's happy with it, and all the actors are cool with it, which is a fucking bummer. But I'm happy we got this because this is way better than anything else that they've done. And I've been a big DC fan, so I'm not even a DC hater like a lot of the internet is, where because it's not Marvel and because it's not bright and funny and, you know what I mean, so it's not good, you know? I've never felt like that. I liked Justice League. It wasn't a great movie, but I had fun watching it, you know what I mean? But this is a whole different, not only did I have fun watching it, it is a very, very good film. Like, writing, story, directing, edit, everything's fantastic. The new soundtrack is amazing. The way they use slow-mo in it doesn't feel like it's overdone. It feels like it's just right, which is tricky because you got a Wonder Woman and you got a Flash in there. That's really the only way to show what they're doing is in slow-mo. Just that, I mean, everything was good. Jin loved it. Jin sat through 4 hours of it, and that was awesome afterwards. And I was like, holy shit. Like, she even liked it. And she's not, this isn't her thing. Like, she didn't want to watch it with me. So yeah, I'm thoroughly excited about it. And I'm going to watch it again soon because there's some stuff I just want to see again. But yeah, it was great.
It's funny you mentioned the soundtrack, and that reminds me, if I recall right, and I'm trying to look it up right now, the original Justice League, Whedon's cut, was scored by Danny Elfman.
Yep. And
this was done by Tom Holkenborg. So they even went with a totally different...
sort of. So that is Junkie XL. That is his real name. And Junkie XL is the one that did the Man of Steel and the Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
I'm listening.
So Snyder brought him back to do his version of it because he originally was signed on to do it, but then when Joss Whedon came on, they brought over Danny Elfman to do it instead.
Yeah, it says that Whedon original score was mostly scrapped in favor of replacement by Danny Elfman. Yep.
Yeah. Zach talked about it on one of the many things he's done in the last week on press for this. But he talked about how reason he went back to Junkie XL is because he started with Junkie XL for a reason and he wanted to finish. So his whole plan was all the movies he was making was going to have Junkie XL or Tom doing the score throughout the whole thing.
And it makes sense. You keep it consistent.
Yes.
The score consistent throughout. Yeah, I can't say how much better this movie is over the Whedon cut, and how much it explains everything from beginning to end, just making everything a lot
Dude,
more.
Steppenwolf is a fucking character now.
Yes.
like a fully thought out character with like, and dude, like, and this is like cliche. I'm not saying anything new, but the best bad guys are bad guys that that you can understand why they're bad guys. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm not saying anything he's doing right, but in his position in this fucking weird thing, you're like, fuck, that sucks. He
Yeah.
fucked. He's trying to get back home. Like, that's relatable. You know what I mean? Not on that scale, obviously. You don't want to destroy planets, but yeah, man, he was so, and he just visually looked so much better. I didn't realize, like, a lot of people shit on Steppenwolf in the first one, and I thought it was kind of unwarranted. I was all like, oh, whatever, he looks fine. You know what I mean? But that he just looked fine. In this, he looked fucking amazing. And I was like, oh yeah, you guys are right. You should have shit on that other one. I didn't realize how much better it could have been. So that's on me, guys. You were right.
Yo, and his death scene at the end. Did you see that coming?
It's rough, dude.
Ooh. Full on decapitation. Sends him packing.
And you know what's funny is they give you. This is how good Snyder is, and it's if we got in the the full fucking story like we were going to, because obviously with the post-apocalyptic things and the big reveal on that one, which I was like, are they gonna do that? I'm not saying the Joker thing, but that was fucking amazing. Like, give me Leto and fucking Affleck just talking shit to each other. I'm in. You make a 4-hour movie with that, and I'm okay with that too. But the Lois was the key. You let Lois die, and then you let Lois die. Someone says to him later, and then this is what he does, and you're like, oh, it's Superman. that completely fucked the whole world, and now they're trying to figure it out. But you could see when Supes came back, because in the first one there was, once he's back good guy, 100%. You know what I mean? Like, he's there. There's some shades of evil fuck in this. When he's fucking up Steppenwolf and he doesn't stop punching him in the face, he was done. Steppenwolf was spent. He could have just held him there, but no. And his facial expressions, I was like, God damn, Henry Cavill is doing more acting in this scene non-verbally than he did in fucking Justice League. The whole version of just that one scene, he's beating the shit and he's got a gnarly fucking grimace on it. It's like, yeah, he's not fully back. Like, he's not 100% what we thought he was. And now all the he takes over the world kind of shit, there's seeds there. You know what I mean? You could see us getting there now. With before the premonitions and stuff, you're like, well, it doesn't, like, Soup's not gonna do that. You know what I mean?
Both times that I watched that scene, because I've seen this movie now 1.5 times.
Nice.
I caught the tail end. The last 2 hours, my brother was watching it when I got home from work. I remember the first time watching that scene in particular, where Superman is just going to town on Steppenwolf, and I'm like, okay, 1 hit, 2 hit, 3, 4, 5. Okay, dude, calm down.
Yeah, dude.
Whoa, like, you're Superman. I would have imagined, like, Superman would have been like, bow, 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 bow.
This version of Superman,
again, bad guy.
This version of Superman would have broken that fuck's neck in the first one 10 minutes into the movie. He would have just snapped his fucking neck and called it a day right away. Like,
yeah, exactly. And so you're right. Like, right then and there, it's like there's a little bit, like, he came back, but he came back still not quite right.
Yeah, and there was some stuff with Lois too, when he takes off with Lois, and like he's there, he's happy, but you could see there's something going on that wasn't in the original cut at all.
No, not in the original cut. Like, he's staring outside and he's like, I remember my my mom used to love this place. I used to love this place. Like, it's like a weird, like, oh yeah, I used to be here. He's still weirdly remembering things. Yeah. What do you think about some of the weird? The first time you see Martian Manhunter, what was your reaction to that?
I looked way better than I thought he was gonna look. I was like, oh, okay.
But the fact that Martha Kent comes walking out of Lois's apartment, just red eyes, and you're like, what now?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, well, that's an issue. You shouldn't do that.
I'll get that checked out.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, just the use of that stuff. It's like, okay, there's everything. If this shit, like I said, it's a completely different movie. Like it's not. And my favorite thing about this, okay, I'll say my least favorite part about the theatrical version was that underline of Batman being a dick.
Mm-hmm.
And like trying to manipulate people, and he's talking shit to Wonder Woman, and he's, you know what I mean, like he's trying to, because he's like insecure, and he's trying to get them to come together, and he's gonna sacrifice himself, kind of thing. I never liked that, and I was all like, yeah, Batman traditionally is, you know, take care of what he thinks what's right at any means. I get that, but in the movie, it was just like, this feels forced and awkward. And then it was, and we're done. And like, remember the first one when evil Superman comes back, he plants, like, he's the reason that Lois is there, which is like, why didn't you just start with that? You know what I mean? But the fact that she's there organically now because she's, you know, she misses
in mourning. She keeps going back there and back there and back there every single day.
And Bruce was fucking ready to die. Like, he was like, I'm fucked, it didn't work, I made a mistake. And Lois comes in and saves the day, and it was just like, oh, that's that's better. That's way better than the bring in the big guns bullshit. There's just, and like I said, the theatrical version is a fun watch for me still. Like, it's a good popcorn flick, but this is just so much better and a completely different thing. So yeah, I loved everything about it.
Did you catch the Batman Returns tank?
Yeah. I was
so excited to see that. I was like, oh, what the fuck? What the hell?
There's so much more. It's like anybody, and I haven't really looked at it, but anybody who didn't like Batfleck before, it's like, if they watch this, like, I want to know how they feel about it now, because this is Frank Miller's Batman. Like, this is like widely accepted as comic book fans' favorite and most hardcore version of Batman. Like, this is what Batfleck gives you, and when it's the director and the writer on the same page with the performer, this is what you can get. Obviously, the theatrical, but there's a lot of people that weren't on the same page, so we got weird, mixed up versions. And it also didn't feel like the director of the other one really knew Batman that well. It felt like he read a bunch of Batman before he started working on it. He was like, I'm gonna read a bunch of Batman comics, and there's these weird little pieces from everywhere. But that's not really, you know, you don't want to pick and choose. You want to model one version of it. You know what I mean? And I think in this one they did a much better job of giving Bruce a proper story arc and leading that team, even though he's not the one. He's not the superhuman, you know. He doesn't have powers. He's not the fastest man, and he's not mostly a robot. But he knows what needs to be done, and he's laser focused on that, and he goes about it the smartest way. Because the smartest way of getting shit done is not to piss everybody off. You know what I mean? Like, that's not.
It's to bring the best people together.
The whole fucking ad campaign of the first one was come together and you can't save the world alone. Like, remember the taglines and fucking Gary Clark Jr. singing the Beatles? Everything about that one was bringing the team together, but Batman's like, I'm gonna bring them together to all hate me.
Right?
And that didn't make a lot of sense to me, but yeah.
Cody, what were your impressions?
I fucking love this movie. I I haven't had 4 hours, other than today. I should have watched it again, but I was playing video games instead. But I haven't had 4 hours to sit down and watch it again. And I could watch it in segments, but
you're not gonna want once you start. You're gonna
that's the problem. I'm not gonna be like, well,
no way.
I'm not going to work today.
And just sit there and watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in a way, I wish he. Again, this sounds stupid, but in a way, I wish he would have made 4 one-hour episodes so I could watch them. But then again, the seamless transition doesn't break it up enough for me to like want, because I know, like, now that I've seen it, I know what's coming up next in part 2 and part 3 and part 4, and I don't want to not watch them. And if there was a way, like, watching it, I could, like, all right, bookmark right here, I'm gonna come back to it, and that's where I'm gonna be at. I would be more inclined to watch part of it, but then there's also a part where, like, you know what, I don't really need that much sleep, so I might as well just finish it.
I'm already on part 4. Might as well watch part 5 and part 6.
And then part 7's short,
and
so you know,
epilogue.
Yeah, you know,
another 45 minutes later
of fucking amazing.
That alone, dude. Holy shit,
dude! I'm telling you, when Batman drops the F-bomb, I was like, "Well played, sir. Well played."
Last week we talked, and I was like, "You said there's a couple F-bombs," and I just wanted to make sure Bruce got one, right? And I was like, "Batman got one." You go, "Yeah." But watching the movie, I was like, "Fucking no F-bombs." And we get to the epilogue, and like I remember thinking that I was like, "Batman didn't say fuck once. What the shit is this?" Dude, when he goes, make no mistake about it, I will fucking murder you. I was like, oh my god. This is the nerdiest shit, dude. I got goosebumps when he said that to Leto's Joker. I was like, fuck yes, dude. This is the best shit I've ever seen. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's a Batman you know is on the edge of not being able to do what he needs to do, because he is, like you said earlier, he's just a dude in a suit who knows how to think, but like he's also in that epilogue, it's in the he's in this world that he's essentially the reason why it happened, and everyone who's helping him knows he's the one that fucked up, and he's doing he's doing what he did originally to get the Justice League together. He's using his brain to bring in people he needs to do something, and it's like he's at his wit's end, and Joker's just prodding him, and at that point, you could tell he's just ready to fucking snap. And I'm like, oh, get him, Bruce.
When Magnanello was all like, "You still think it was a good idea to bring this guy?" and he gives him this fucking annoyed look, and he just says, "What do you think?" I was like, oh man, Batman is at his fucking end right now. Like, he is ready to fucking let loose.
Yep.
What's crazy too is like, we know it's something to do with Lois dying. Obviously, whether it's Batman's fault or just perceived as Batman's fault, which is more than likely what it was gonna be. I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe he really did just royally fuck up. But like, I want, like, if you're not gonna give me this movie, give me this book. Like, you don't even have to make it a comic book. Write a book and sell it to me, and I will read it because I need to know this story.
So first off, there was an interview that was done last week, which is a perfect segue to where Zack Snyder laid out the basic idea of what he wanted to do.
Okay.
The whole idea is that yes, you get this sense once you learn about this and you think back on the movie in the past couple of movies, it does make sense that this Batman could never bring himself to do the ultimate sacrifice himself for the ultimate good, and he realizes it at this point. This is that whole scene too with the Joker, where you sent a boy to do a man's job type thing, and look how that ended up. The way Snyder had laid it out is that whatever happens, there was an idea that while Superman was dead, for some reason, Wayne falls in love with Lois. And at some point in the near future, after the resurrection and Darkseid comes down, Superman tells him basically, protect Lois with your life. and he doesn't do it because of that, his inability to sacrifice himself for the greater good. So that's that dead body that you see Superman holding at the end there, which he turns out, obviously, you find out she was pregnant at the time with their kid, with Superman's kid, her kid. That sends him over that really upsets him, but Darkseid gets a hold of the anti-life equation and uses it to control Superman. So Superman's not necessarily doing this out of like complete pissed off rage. He's being controlled by Darkseid. It's also being fed into his rage type thing.
Yeah.
So whatever times goes by, and that's Batman gathering together his group of people with the idea of that they're going to get to a certain point and travel back in time to try and prevent Lois from dying, because Lois is the key. Again, world building that is amazing. That pays off 3 fucking movies later. Well, would have.
Yeah.
And the idea is that Batman then is able to sacrifice himself to keep Lois alive, which then keeps Superman. And it's Superman that goes on to defeat Darkseid. And then supposedly afterwards you find out that Lois has the kid. They name him Bruce Clark, and he actually has no superpowers. So they introduce him to his namesake, Bruce Wayne, and they introduce him to his alter ego, Batman, and he becomes the next Batman. That was Snyder's general rough idea of what everything was going to happen.
The only little thing that I have any type issue with at all is not I wouldn't want them to say Batman couldn't make the ultimate sacrifice. I would want it to be framed like he outthought and thought, you know what I mean, kept thinking there was another way. You know what I mean? Not out of like
not out of self-preservation of fear or anything,
but out of what he thought might be the betterment and was just wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it could have been like the one time he was just flat out wrong, or just played it, you know, just missed the boat, you know. But either way, fuck yeah, dude. Like, give me that shit.
Yeah. And that was supposed to mostly happen in the next movie, and it was, if I recall right, he said the third movie is where Superman defeats Darkseid. So we would have seen bad Superman in Justice League 2. And then he becomes good Superman again with the death of Batman. Again, after we finished last week, I mentioned to Cody how awesome would it have been to see like Batman. Obviously, within that context there, we wouldn't have got this, but how awesome would it have been to see the death of Batman as he kills Darkseid with the God Bullet?
Yeah.
Like to end this series like that would have been amazing to see.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. And I do believe I read somewhere that there was talk of possibly, this again was like somebody was mentioning that they should finish this in comic book form, and I think Zack said that he would be open to it, but nothing has been said about it at all.
Well, I'll pre-order it now.
You'll pre-order it now.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be awesome. What if you had Zack Snyder do the basic plots of it, then you have Scott Snyder do the writing of it, and you bring Greg Capullo to do the art of it? I mean, how awesome would that be?
Well, I just came, so that's good.
Right? Everyone in every person there knows Batman really well, apparently.
But it might, and I don't know anything. I'm probably talking about my ass, but that seems to me like the biggest comic book sell ever in the history of comic books.
Right?
The most fucking books sold. Like, because when you're gonna get the casuals, you know what I mean? We're like, well, we're not getting this movie. Let's check it out. And then all the hardcore fans, even the fucking nerds that are gonna bitch about it, they're gonna buy it so they can properly bitch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then like the normal people like us who just want to fucking read some cool shit.
Right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Did you see that? And I can't remember who it was. It was like the head director or writer or whatever it was for Justice League Injustice Among Us, whatever that game is.
Injustice.
Injustice was like, "Hey, Stack, if you wanna make one of our Injustice into a movie?"
Yeah, I mean, you're getting close. Like
Right?
they're not that far off. Piss off Superman one way or the other and turn him into a big old dick bag.
Well, I mean,
Right?
that's what happens in the game.
Basically the same plot.
Slash
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know, except it's Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois and her unborn child, and that's what just is like, no, you people have done fucked up now. I'm just going to rule over the world at this point. And then Wonder Woman's just like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. And Batman's like, yeah, that's not a good idea. Let's not do that. And fight.
Fight.
And fight.
That's how you do it. You fight.
You fight. Fingers go together. Fight.
So I don't even know what time we're at because we're not looking at that screen.
We're at an hour.
Ooh, fuck. Okay. Well, I was gonna go over some news, but that seems like a lot of time that we've already spent talking. So maybe not. There's some stuff we could talk about, but we'll save it for another day. So I guess that's it for this week's episode. Comes naturally. We are
Joe.
Mike.
I am Cody, and as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.